What is up, everybody? Brett here, back today playing some more Tower Dominion. And I figured, you know what, this time, let's go ahead and play as the Lions of Ravelski, a faction that we have yet to play as. The proud and glorious warriors, the 8th Armored, has the best training, the best equipment, and genetically modified super soldiers. So these guys are sick. Their whole shtick is that the commanders personally fight on the battlefield. So you'll see this guy, if we end up playing as Artifex Hartis, which is kind of my front runner today. He's a really cool character. We'll get into his stuff in a second. He'll be running around hacking fools up. Actually, you know what? I think he's got a flamethrower. Anyway, spoilers. And gain double the amount of blueprints and reinforcement from their noble houses trait. So this guy in particular, he just has a flat 10% upgrade cost reduction. And each time you fully upgrade a building, you get a relay antenna, which you can then build, and it generates supply for you. Pretty cool. Very simple to understand. I beat him once just quickly as a, on a level 1 run. But let's go ahead and take it up to level 2. I think in yesterday's episode we beat a level 3. But yeah, let's just go ahead and kind of ease ourselves into a run here. And this is kind of already a bit of a weird, rough start. You kind of hate to see the crossroads here, but maybe we can sew this up a little bit. Okay. So now that we've placed that, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a little bit of what the gimmicks here are and what I've kind of learned from playing this particular faction. And it all starts with their headquarters. So this faction, they get these guys, these Praetorian guards. I think they get 2 of them. And your hero guy, right? And they run out and they attack, and they're very strong. Unlike the Grenadiers from the other faction who kind of like kamikaze themselves, these guys stand back and shoot and do a ton of damage. They're really strong. They also get tanks as part of their build, which you can upgrade here. But for the purposes of this, our 2 unique buildings, our most unique buildings, are going to be our headquarters and the Stars Call. This like golden statue here from Soviet Russia. Just Stalin on the back of a fat pony. So we've got the support helipad, which gives us +5 recon production and 10% repair, which is nice because we currently don't have any recon production, and repair is always good. Or we can get the support radar, which gives 50% HP and damage to all troops and HQ. So the HQ you can upgrade with some Reaper cannons. But even more importantly, this applies later if you start building tanks. Giving 50% HP and damage to all tanks is nuts. So I've done an endless run with this faction where I had they get a building that builds tanks, and I had a ton of them. And it was just a never-ending parade all the way down to here of these massively fully upgraded tanks, and I just couldn't lose. It was insane. It was super fun. The Reaper cannons are just some guns. You can see them popping out here on the corners. But yeah, so generally I feel like the meta right now is not to really mess with the headquarters. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and plop this down. This is also a little risky and might not end up paying off. But this is where I like to invest my first couple bucks here. And that is in Order of the Claimed Sky versus Seal of Pristine Glory. So this increases the chances for building doctrines to appear instead of regular doctrines. That's fine. I like both doctrines. They're both useful. Or all buildings gain 10% air and shield damage. So this is really good. But it's very expensive. And if I want to fast track to the Reliquary of Jadira, which is what I'm going to do, it gives us a flat minus 15% building cost. And over the course of 28 waves, and if we go endless, it could be 50, 60 waves, that is massive savings. Order of the Iron Sword, threat reveal 2 waves earlier. I'm not that concerned about that. And then as you go down here, all infantry, bonus HP and damage. You don't really get that much infantry in this faction, or at least I haven't found out how to do it yet. If this said all units and it applied to the tanks, that would be busted. Or you get this, which is what I normally take and cost some tech. So Cross of the Ellipse. Upon the commander's demise, so our old guy running around, I think, with a flamethrower, your troops and buildings, so tanks, infantry, and all buildings, gain 10% damage until the end of the wave. And as this gets harder and harder, your commander will die faster and faster, increasing your DPS relatively early. And that's a massive boon. And if we do this, and this, and this, we've got a fully upgraded statue already. It cost us quite a bit. We're going to take some hits here, But on this character, because we upgraded a building to max, we get to start with a relay antenna, which can only be built on a location that has an elevation of 3. And as we start here, we've only got 2 of these locations, and unfortunately, they're both super prime locations. So we're going to build here. Or do we, you know what, let's just start with our Mirador. We're going to hold off on the antenna. We're going to miss out on a little bit of cash, but I think that's okay. We want to minimize a bit the damage that we take. And you see, we look defenseless, and we sort of are. We're going to take all those hits. But here come the Praetorian Guard and our hero. And it's going to help us, you know, mitigate some of that damage. So Rick from Rick and Morty shows up and helps us. We're going to take another Mirador and another position there. And I would very much like to build this. But we do need something here to help us defend. I'm just going to drop that down. We're going to place this as soon as we can. So this is the risk with this gambit. We spent a lot of resources here, and I'm being a little precious with my tower placement. So we're going to take some damage. So here we have some interesting options. Infantry rate of fire plus 20% and buildings HP increased by 10%. Not really considering this. HQ damage is not a big deal. To lower all of our damage by 10%, that's terrible. Getting some damage, a lot of damage on our Miradors while also giving us some repair. I kind of like that for right now. And this is a pretty good roll for us. We want to close off some of this stuff and eventually direct the enemy into one spot, either up or down or whatever, it doesn't really matter. And then start directing this. Let's say we go down here. We also start turning the corner and going down here. So for the purposes of closing this loop, we're going to do that. I see a good spot for an antenna. We're going to take that. And we don't have a ton of cash. I'm going to buff this guy because he's covering a lot of entrances. But we might take a pretty huge hit here. Let's hope not. The Praetorian are taking their sweet time to spawn. But the repairs generally should keep us floating for an extra round or two until we can really get some towers built. Okay, what are we taking? What are we taking? This is good, but we have no recon production. We want to get that going as soon as we can, but we got to stabilize first. So I'm tempted to take this. Could build something like this. This is such an optimum spot. And we'll build it, and if you build it, they will come. But what we want to do is get the Reaper Cannon, and you see how the range increases? And that'll really cover this area. However, once we close this off, enemies won't be spawning and flying here. We could also endeavor to build this, and then get some Reaper Cannons, and they're not that strong. But they are enough to kind of deal with some of the like flyers that are sort of making it to us. But we really got to stem the bleeding sooner rather than later. We're getting greedy, just like we did in the last episode. But that's ultimately what makes this strategy work. If we don't get greedy, none of this works. So we've got some interesting options here. We could go for a lot of blueprints. Some flat supply production, which is good. Or more supply amounts offered in the reinforcements tab. So, and you know, sometimes you'll see like, hey, it'll give you 200 supply, but instead of that, it'll give you 300, right? And over time, these two are probably about equal in the amount of supply that we'll see from that. But I'm going to take that. It's guaranteed money, if you will. So we're going to be happy taking that. This, I'm a little less stoked about. I think we just build outwards down here. I think that's the move. And we can even drop a mortar very cheaply. And now we're a little bit more covered here. Would love to upgrade this. Let's see how this does. With the Praetorians and our hero, we should be okay, but we're getting wrecked by these flyers, man. We need to drop another Mirador. We're not even getting a chance to see our guy, barely. He's getting wrecked as soon as he comes out. Okay. I think it's Mirador building time. It's not a bad position. We'll just take that. And we can drop this here. I like that. Those are just very early game investments. We don't really have the cash to upgrade them yet. Let's see, we need a total of 450 to get that. Yeah, I'm happy to see this supply. I think we need a little bit of a supply bump. Ooh, this is almost what we wanted. Not quite, though. I think we dropped this here. Man, it's so close, huh? Let's get that. I really want the support, and we'll take that upgrade. I really want to start getting the support helipad because I want to start producing some recon. And we're very close to stabilizing. Our repair is keeping us in the game. Man, double bastion. Oof. This is an ideal bastion spot. I might end up selling this at some point to put down a bastion. As well as this. You know, I've already upgraded this, but we can get some of the cash back. This is a powerful bastion position, and this is a very powerful bastion position for the late game. It does kind of waste 2 blueprints, which I generally try not to do. And you know what? With this character, we really need to be prioritizing maxing out our towers instead of building mass towers. Because we want to get antennas quickly. Man. This is okay. All buildings gain 5% damage per battlefront. That's a very powerful ability. Would like to get that. So we're going to unlock this. Get ourselves another antenna that we can't currently afford to build, but we will be able to shortly. And we need all this real estate for our antennas, so we're going to build those. We're starting to deal with the flyers, but because we're building in a disorderly fashion, they're just flying straight across. And we're gonna prioritize upgrading that mirror door next. There we go. Another antenna. And let's go. Some camouflage dudes are starting to come at us. Not that scared. Next, we're going to upgrade this one. And because we're opening up all these battlefronts here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not that scared of what's coming down here. This is okay. We'll do that. And, yeah, let's go. We may want to invest in this tower, actually. The speedy boys are just running by us, and they just hurt us pretty bad. We need to put something strong here. Wasn't expecting the speedy boys, but that's how they get you. So 500 supply would solve a lot of our problems right now, but it's so tough to pass. I love these 2 towers. We'll take this, though. I'm also happy to see a medium mortar. Put it in a kind of centralized position. This is a pretty good spot for it. And it'll only get better as we play. So we'll drop that down. Reduce its maximum range. We're not going to bother upgrading this yet. We're going to... Yeah, we're just going to get the Reaper turrets to help keep ourselves alive. I'm going to reserve all of our 3 elevations in the future for more of our antennas, which we're going to get a ton of them. Believe you me. And then let's put our scout tower here. Prioritize this upgrade. The Reaper cannons are going to help us to deal with these fast guys, at least a couple of them. Alright, we'll take that. And finally, okay, I'm sipping my coffee there. We got the corner piece that we need in order to close this loop off. Very good. So, we finish here. We get one of those. We stick it there. And it does suck to use up all of our good 3 elevations for these, but they are generating lots of supply for us, so they are forgiven. We prefer to put them in spots where they don't have good firing positions. Okay. We really need something here now. We need to stop playing around. Sturdy bunker is exactly what we need here. We'll drop one of those. And we will look to upgrade it. Pretty much max it out quickly. And with two of these Vindicar or Vencedor miniguns, the fast guys are going to get crushed. What do we got here? Decimation positions are cool, but they're not that good. At least in my experience, they're not that good. This just gives us a flat 300 supply for putting something here. So we're going to do that sort of preemptively. We'll stick that there. It's a fine position for it. And it's just going to give us a bunch of cash with which we can now turn around and spend. Is there anything we can max out to get an antenna? And there was. Take one of those, please and thank you. Keep it moving. Seeing camo guys spawn down here is a little concerning because we don't have that much coverage. The only thing we have is one Mirador with detection. Oh, that's not true. That's not true. We got the light mortar position, which I could upgrade. Two Warwolves, huh? That's pretty good, pretty good. What to build? What to build? Let's drop down one of these bastions. How are we doing down here? We're doing okay. Keep getting sidetracked. This character, you really need to play a specific way. If we want to get the most out of these antennas, we really need to finish builds instead of placing new towers. Okay. So we were kind of waiting. We were hoping to get multiple corner pieces earlier so we could curve down here. But instead what we're going to do is we're going to place here and look to connect with a straight piece. And then maybe make some good middle ground where we can put stuff here. But for now, let's go ahead and finish. And then see, I don't know how many 3 spots we even have access to. Just 1. Okay. So it doesn't even behoove us at the moment to fully finish anything, because we're just going to have antennas sitting in our inventory, essentially, that we can't even do anything with, because we don't have the elevation on which to place them. A sanctioned cannon, that's very powerful. We'll put that bad boy back here, and on an endless run, it'll do insane work. Fire rate and detection. That could be good. Huge range. You know what? We're going to spend some of this tech. And save a little bit of supply. Gonna buff there. Buff there. For extra 100% damage and rate of fire. Very good. Some more supply production. I'm going to take that. We're going to connect here. And we've given ourselves a nice elevated position. Adjacent buildings gain 75% damage, but their upgrade cost is 25% more. That's not that bad. If we put something really strong here and give it 75% bonus damage, then it works. And on this low ground, there's really nothing else we can put here. So we're going to be happy to have that. We're going to take the cheap upgrade there. But it does also apply to tech, so that sucks. So instead of doing that, we're just going to go ahead and take the Delta Wear upgrade, which is still very good. How are we doing over here? We still covering? It looks like it. Maybe barely, though. Maybe we should give this side a little bit more love. Could give it another sturdy bunker. That might not be bad. We're going to take the reinforcement supply amount, though it's kind of late in the game to do that. If we're going endless, then it makes a lot of sense. And we're just going to buff the heck out of this. Make sure these guys don't kill us. And I think we did that just in time. This would have been a little rough without the extra sturdy bunker. And we're just going to max it out. We can't do anything, unfortunately, with the antennas. Alright, air is starting to be a problem. They're flying straight across, so we need to do something about that, like, now. Or else we will die. So what are we going to do? I'm going to take the supply. Here. 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 We still have enough time to get good value from those. Not mad at it. Man, we haven't really seen a lot of recon stuff. We need to unlock this. This is huge and we need to get it active. What do we build here that would be okay in this position? Really nothing other than a Mirador that goes down the underground depot route, and that'll be fine. That's a fine tower to put here. Cheap, but still effective. Most things don't like to be on the ground floor. We'll fully upgrade there. I don't think we have any other lower tier spots. I'm going to take high ground expertise, and then we're going to get roof snipers. And give our bastion additional... We're going to take supply here. We're getting close to the end, and I feel slightly underpowered. We're going to give them roof snipers, and then maybe shooting floor or ammo storage. One or the other. Those are the only two options, so that's what we're going to take. What else? What else? I'm looking down here to see how I might want to reinforce it. Could do something like this. That way we're covered with the war wolf here, but then, you know, a little bit covered here. And once we upgrade it, it does get even better range. It'll have a little more kind of overlapping coverage with the north up there. We also, I mentioned we're having a little bit of issues with air. What I can do here... We can solve that problem right now by building one Puma position. Let's also upgrade there, which will help a lot. And then as soon as we get a little bit of supply, boom, we'll take the hydraulic recall, and then we're going to use the last of our tech. And now check it out. This is a unit that specializes in dealing with air units. And it's got massive coverage over this entire zone, and anything that wants to fly at this angle to get us is going to have to go through it. So that's great for us. HQ gains slow. I don't even think I've ever seen that before. I kind of want to take it just because it's new. To me, anyway. HQ having an extra 1,000 HP is somewhat relevant, but if they're hitting my HQ at this stage, I'm already kind of lost. We're going to put one more of those out. One more of those down. Cover here. Build here. I want a little bit more detection. Alright, I like what we just did. I think I can kind of leave this alone now. Once I upgrade this, I'll probably leave it alone. And then we just need to really reinforce here now. I hate that these guys are hitting my HQ. I would have thought this would prioritize hitting the air, but I didn't get the anti-air design. I got the damage instead of. I should have got this. That was a mistake. Here we're getting the armored staging ground. A super cool building, which I want to build. But we got to do something. We got to do something else. This is huge. This is huge. Man, we got some choices, huh? Lots of choices. The biggest thing is we can't get killed by air units. That just can't happen. So what we're gonna do here, place this down. This has anti-air. Let's see what that does for us. It's got tons of additional damage. And the anti-air guns will still shoot the ground. But boy, do we have a lot of upgrades to get. And we're a little low on resources, man. Sure, commander gains 25% HP. I don't think that's all that relevant. Try to get this stuff curving up a little. We upgraded that. This, I mean, this really needs to get upgraded. We've had this since the beginning. And this would be the upgrade to get. Maybe we can hold off and wait for it. Would love to put something back here. Okay, let's just go. The ammo storage, how are we doing here? We have yet to upgrade this. Yeah, still the big bad air is coming for us, man. This isn't even going all that hot either. Little spooky. Yeah, we just need money. We've got blueprints, we need money. We don't need range. It's a little late for this upgrade, but I'm going to take it. And for the fun of it, we are going to build an armored staging ground. I want you to see the tanks. This is not what I would build if I was trying to play optimally, but it's super cool. So it has two different... So an HQ releases an auto Redus tank every 10 seconds. Also, guys, we really need to get this. The underground garage is probably one of the strongest upgrades we could get. Navy support is very expensive, and you can get this in the late game. It gives you an orbital cannon, which is awesome. But we need to get this. Each wave spawns one tank per battlefront, then one every 10 seconds. So if we have 4 battlefronts, it'll spawn 4 tanks. And if you go here, you can go down this kind of tree here, which just increases the tanks and basically uses them as damage sponges. And all vehicles will get 10% HP, and that'll apply to all the tanks that you spawn as well, making them really strong. Or you can outfit them with these weapons, and they do a ton of damage, and it's pretty awesome. So let's kind of follow the tanks here as they spawn. See which direction it goes down. We actually have another one of these, which is cool. And we're going to buff the hell out of them before they even spawn. Did it work? I don't think we got the buffs off in time. The next one coming out was going to be tough. Sick. Okay. We've got so many cool things I want to build, but we don't have a lot of cash with which to build them. Let's build up. This is a really good spot for this, as is this. And I'm going to throw that down. Let's get that going. Okay. We're a little all over the place with our build, but it's fun. We want to get the underground garage before the final boss. Without this, I think we die. And if I have to sell something to get it, I will. Okay. So we should be making a ton of tanks now. And if I got another one of these lasers, I would put it here. Can we survive? None of this really matters. An ammo depot could be kind of good, but I don't want that doctrine. All right, man, here they come, the final wave. Can we stop these nerds? We've got 350 supply with which to upgrade. I don't think we can really do much with that. I don't think there's much really to do. So yeah, without any further ado, let's just build and hope we don't die. Who's doing the damage, man? Our mortars? Not surprising. Can we survive? Will the tanks carry us? Looks like the answer was yes. Sweet. Look how cool the tanks look with all the stuff on them. Anyway, guys, that's it. We could do a few endless mode waves for fun. I think the way we've designed the layout, it'll get a lot better. Ooh, I love plasma fences, but we're going to take another cannon. I got some time. Let's do another maybe like 10 minutes or so and see if we can survive. We might not even last that much longer. Who knows? We'll build in a viscerally pattern. And we're going to look to place down some sanction cannons. Or even just another armored staging ground would be fun. And I love, it's very cheap and easy to fit in these upgrades. But if you were trying to go really long, you definitely want to get these instead. You're going to get way more bang for your buck in like wave 50 than you will with just upgrading their weaponry. Man, we'll take the retribution. That's pretty sick. Okay. This might be the round that kills us, because they might spawn one of those dudes down here, and we might not be strong enough to kill them down there. And we have no good high elevation with which to place our relay antennas. We have 14 of these things we can't even use. Bit of a bummer. You know what I will do? I'll place this here, and that's going to lower the cost of my upgrades by 50%. And this is a pretty expensive tower to upgrade. And we're going to put them right in the mix. Could give them huge range with the long burners. Yeah, see, this is what I was talking about. Without the tanks, this guy's just going to walk up on us and kill us. Yeah, that's fine. And I had a feeling that was going to happen. It split the toughest guys in between, but that's okay. We knocked it out. We got tier 2 battle difficulty with this character. And guys, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Brett, channel's Good Talk Gaming, and as always, y'all, I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys.